Hello, you wonderful people. As you can tell by the title, this is the 6-year anniversary of YourNerdGasm. I mean, technically, it's not at the time of recording this because I decided to record this early because I brought this up a lot of times. I tend to forget or don't really remember until the last minute, but I made sure to kind of remember this time around. So I'm also recording it ahead of time too, so yay. I wanted to do something a little celebratory, like drinking some alcohol or wine, whatever it was. My mom bought me some like last year, my 25th birthday. I don't really drink a lot anyway, so it was kind of sitting there anyway, but I checked, it's not there anymore, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. But yeah, 6 years, it's pretty awesome. And you know, I always want to take these videos to say thank you to anyone that stops by and watches any of the things that I do, like, you know, like little breakdowns, me being analytical, as someone recently kind of described me, which I thought was kind of interesting. I don't think of myself as an analytical person, but I appreciate that person thinking that I am, just like the approach I take with, like, when I'm reviewing TV shows and stuff like that. But nevertheless, I really appreciate everyone that stops by, you know, even if it's just for like, oh, 1 or 2 videos, or you're pretty regular about it, whether you subscribed or not. I really appreciate it because I do enjoy doing these videos, because like I get, once again, I've talked about this before and I'll talk about it again, like I never had a lot of people I could nerd out with stuff around, and so this whole channel gives me an opportunity to nerd out about things. And it's like, oh my god, this is something I nerd out about. If you like, if this, you know, if you have similar taste to me, maybe you'll nerd out about this too, or maybe it's like this one particular thing we like, you know. I think that's kind of the beauty of this whole situation. So I don't know. Once again, I just do want to be very thankful. I feel like I don't say it enough to let you guys know that I'm really appreciative of anything, you know, any likes, comments, or views you throw towards this channel. I really appreciate it. Obviously, going forward, I made promises after the 5-year anniversary about stuff I do, and I still didn't do it. So I need to kind of crack down on certain aspects of like stuff I want to do that I just haven't done. I just need to just do it. Like certain video like ideas I have, I just don't really implement them like I should. So I should just go ahead and just do them, but I don't, because I'm just, for whatever reason, I just put them off for so long. There's something, like I said, there's things I've started but I've just never done anything with, so got to worry about that. But there's also this avenue of, it's something I've talked about before, like I talked about a long time ago on this channel, and I think I've probably brought up every once in a while here and there, but I like to write stories in my free time, like who doesn't? But it's like, I would like to do something with them in the future, like not necessarily like a book thing, like an anime or a manga is kind of what I've always thought about in some regards. There's been this one story idea. It's a story idea I came up with like years and years ago. Like I came up with it when I was in high school, I think. It's a story that I wrote a good chunk of. It wasn't a lot. I was still probably like, what, in the first probably like 5th of writing it. It wasn't that long, but I ended up losing most of it, and then eventually later on down the road I ended up deleting what little I had left, which I wish I had. I wish I had kept them, just to, you know, maybe, I don't know, they were sucky anyway, but I still wish I had kept them. But that story idea I've kind of rewritten it like once before. I'm in the process of trying to rewrite it a 3rd time, but nevertheless, the point is, like, that story in particular, I always had it in my head of eventually having that as like a JRPG, mainly because it's like, well, the idea behind it is kind of influenced by a JRPG. It's like influenced by Final Fantasy, which is one of my favorite like JRPG or just video game series in general. But also why JRPG, because, you know, I think it'd be a perfect format for telling a story. Also because, in fact, I have talked about it before too, I am a huge fan of JRPGs. Just, that's my favorite format of like video games. Just like their approach and just the feel of a JRPG is always awesome to me. But nevertheless, but yeah, those, like, my problem is when it comes to writing stuff, I'm good with the ideas. Like that story I'm referencing, for years I've known how that story was going to begin, the middle, and the ending to it. The finer details is always my issue, so I wish I had more people like to kind of bounce ideas off and write, because I'm not a very good writer. I'm fine with breaking stories down, like kind of like, oh yeah, this and this has to happen, but like I said, the even smaller details are kind of where I kind of fall apart. Plus I can't draw worth a shit, so I can't animate anything, but I'd like to one day do something with those. Like I just need to sit down and dedicate time to like writing them out. Like I said, the ideas are there, I just need to just write some stuff down. Even if it's crap, I need to write it out, because that's what I always hear from people who say about writing stuff. So just write some stuff, and then just, you know, later on you can, you know, maybe with help or just you yourself, just go back and fine tune it a lot, you know. So I'd like to do stuff with that in the future. I've kind of talked about that before, about like what I'd want YourNerdGasm to be like, to make content like that, to turn those stories into something, whether it be full-blown series or short. That's something I want to try working towards too. But once again, you know, this is all depending on a lot of things. Like, YourNerdGasm has always kind of been like this main thing that I've kind of been doing. But once again, and I've talked about this before, I probably won't always be able to do it to the extent that I have. Like, luckily, my life has given me the freedom to do this. Once again, I always say this because I never know what the future might hold. But until, you know, things change, I will continue with YourNerdGasm, trying to make it grow. I always kind of tweaking my approach to certain regards where this stuff I've always been doing more recent stuff, like, you know, trying to change my approach to how this whole thing works. But yeah, I guess that's the end of this video. I don't know how I'm gonna edit this whole situation just because I've had to restart this video so many times in certain regards, but nevertheless, it's not important. That's my issue to figure out. But once again, thank you, and hopefully we'll go through another year, you know, of good times. I don't know, forget it, just go to the outro. But really, that's all I want to talk about in this video. Till the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and good